how do you main objective when you're calling rugby league or any sport?
Mainly because I am objective.
Yeah.
I don't like. I grew up in Penrith, like you've outlined, and when I was younger, I supported the Panthers, and my family all support the Panthers. But mate, honestly, it's when you do what I do, you just don't have the luxury of being able to support a team. So you just what I care about the most now is a good game, like, and a good product for people to watch at home. I don't even and I'm a born and bred New South Wales show. I honestly don't care who wins Origin. I just want it to be a really good series because and I've got a soft spot for Queensland because of the work I've done up there, and I see how much they love their footy and what it means to them. So I just it doesn't worry me who wins anymore. Like so after Origin, like you talk about social media, I'll get 20 messages from New South Wales fans saying you're so biased. You clearly love Queensland, and I'll get 20 from Queensland fans saying, "Oh, you're so biased. You clearly support New South Wales." So I get the same number from each. So that gives me a good indication that I've got it pretty right.
Well, I guess when you look at as we go back to what we were talking about before with say Billy, Joey, or Cameron, and
but they're allowed to be biased,
and that's what I was going to say. I mean,
there's no hiding who they are,
yeah,
and actually that's encouraged.
Yeah,
like you go back to. Like I mentioned Fatty and Sterlo before, like they were the ones that started it all. You know, they openly support their state in the commentary, which is kind of it defies like the principles of broadcasting, but it works so well at Origin because everyone's parochial. One of the things I admire the most about Peter Sterling, and I was lucky to work a lot with him before he retired, going back a few years ago now, just one of the best men. But he's the most objective expert in footy. If you listen back to some of those great calls back in the day, like the miracle try from Mark Coyne in 94, like Fatty's going off his absolute brain about Queensland, and Sterlo, even though he's the New South Wales guy, he still acknowledges how great a try it is. You know, that's the sort of stuff I remember. Just great commentary. That's where objectivity can actually be powerful too. But we, you know, all our Blues blokes wear, the New South Wales guys wear blue, and the Queenslanders wear maroon on our call, so no one hides it.
I think one of the things that I find really cool about your role is how you're tied to some of the biggest moments in sport. And I mean, how cool is it to be able to, like we were talking about it with Ruth at the cafe the other day, but to be able to go through and see highlights popping up, say on Instagram, where there's been a pivotal moment in, say, a big finals match, and you've got your call, your emotion, and obviously your voice overlaid over that video. Talk to us about how special that is for you, but also maybe one or two moments throughout your career that you remember really vividly and will sort of stick with you through time.
Well, you talk about pressure. I generally don't feel a lot of pressure. The only pressure I feel like in leading into a big game or a big event is actually to make sure that when that moment comes up, you've got to get it right, because that's what everyone listens to time immemorial. You know, you think, look at all the famous moments in Australian sport, like you say, there's the moment and there's the commentary associated with it. So you want to make sure you try and get it right. Well, the ones that stand out, from a footy point of view, like any of the deciders, 2002 when Ben Hunt caught the ball and ran 60 metres to score, like that was an incredible moment at Suncorp. 2024 when Bradman Best scored that try in the decider to break. Well, I think it was 2-2 at the time, was it, or 4-2 maybe? I can't remember. But there'd been no tries for over an hour. Like that was a pretty iconic moment, and then the Blues went on to win the series. Cleary's comeback in the grand final, like they're all great. But from the swimming point of view, I wasn't a great believer in like pre-preparing lines, but I did for the Olympics because I knew I was pretty confident who was going to win. If an Australian was going to win, I wanted to make sure I had the right thing to say. So when Ariane won the 400, defended her title, and because we've become friends now, and she's actually said to me that she loves watching her moments back with me calling them. Yeah, which is pretty amazing.
It's cool, yeah.
The one that I had the most fun with, and I think the 50 freestyle when Cam McAvoy won. If you've seen the clips of that, I nailed the call. But Gian's squealing like a cat and Thorpe's yelling, you know, and like it's 20 what is it, 22 seconds, but it's the best 22 seconds of broadcasting ever. Like, we're just going bananas. But it was great, yeah. But you're right. Yeah, they're the moments you're remembered by, so you want to try and get them right. And you actually want to say something that means something. Like, you don't just want to go bananas and, scream. You kind of want to say something that encapsulates the moment. So, yeah, they're the ones that stand out. But there's hopefully a lot more to come.
You spoke a bit about criticism and maybe people who have messaged you on social media saying you're biased or, various things to that nature. Has there been any criticism that has genuinely improved the way you call sport? And what sort of criticisms have you had to learn to ignore?
Well, there's feedback. Like, I can go to anyone at work. I mean, I don't get a lot of feedback anymore. My boss, Brent Williams, who's the head of sport at Channel 9, we have a great relationship, and he'll occasionally mention the odd thing.
Yeah.
I'm largely left to my own devices. See, I'm my own biggest critic, Hayden. Like, and Ruth will tell you, if I don't call a game well, I'll come home with the shits. And I actually go through, I'm sure, well, I don't know, but I would imagine like an athlete, like sometimes you think you're calling well, sometimes you feel like you're kind of struggling a little bit. I'm sure a lot of other broadcasters will probably feel the same way. But as far as criticism from the public goes, look, I'm a believer in you would only listen to criticism and take it on board if it comes from somebody you actually value. So, and look, a lot of the public stuff, it's just people just trying to be heroes. We get bagged all the time. You pick the eyes out of the stuff you think is going to add value, but it's just all part and parcel of what we do. I've put myself in the public eye, so